on our roster is Dr. Amy Cannon. She will be highlighting the transformative approaches to building a community of educators to teach and practice green chemistry, including Beyond Benign's Green Chemistry Commitment Program. She will also describe the open source online platform called GCTLC, set to launch in 2023, that will allow global green chemistry community to share resources and collaborate to catalyze the implementation of green chemistry throughout the education continuum. Go ahead, Doctor.
Let me unmute. Now you can hear me? Okay. All right, good. Thank you. It's so wonderful to see so many folks on. Thank you so much, Neelam and Veritas Chem, for hosting this. And it's really an honor to present along with Dr. Zhang and Dr. Abraham, who you'll hear from. Yeah, I'll be talking to you a little bit about our work at Beyond Benign and sort of where it's been a journey since I was, again, very privileged to be part of the first group of students there at UMass Boston back in the about 2002 when the program started. And it was really exciting time for me to really focus on that gap in chemistry education. And, as a chemist, I had an undergrad degree, and I was looking for how to use my skills towards solving some challenges. And it was really exciting, a great opportunity. And I was really honored to be part of that program early on. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today. Let's see if I can move that out of my way. A little bit about green chemistry education in our work. So we started in 2007, and I'll talk a little bit about our journey and our approach. If you're joining here today, you probably recognize the tremendous power and potential that chemistry has to address sustainability. And what's really exciting to me is that, chemists can address so many of these global sustainable development goals and challenges that have been put out there that we face. And some of them are pretty unique to chemistry that really only chemists can solve. So as one of the examples, you'll see on the right here, it's a green chemistry innovation that really led to the development of a better class of refrigerants that can be used to really change the inherent global warming potential of this molecule of refrigerants. And this is a chemistry solution to a challenge that we faced, really, with our refrigerants having really great properties, but yet they have persistent properties that contribute to ozone depletion and global warming. And through molecular design, we can design out those properties. And so that's pretty powerful from a chemistry perspective. And so I think there's just tremendous potential in what we can do through smarter molecular design. So in equally, education is an even farther upstream approach to addressing sustainability challenges. There's a huge growth in terms of the demand for greener chemicals and also the demand for chemists to be trained with these skills. There was a recent, I didn't put it on my slide here, but I can find the link if anyone's interested. There was a recent LinkedIn report that really said that, was talking about the growing demand for scientists across the spectrum, scientists and engineers across the spectrum, not just chemists, to be trained with these skills, and that there's actually evidence that academia cannot keep up with that growing demand. And so there's really a strong need to really shift academia to be able to better prepare students with these skills to address this growing demand. And they're actually here in the US, there's been some great studies here that show they're good jobs, that are with pretty good opportunities for students as well. So, and if you look at, if you think about it, education is really central to change in any movement. If education it doesn't happen, and we're really not going to be able to change and realize a sustainable human environmental health. If we're only focusing on creating greener technologies, it's going to be a lot harder because our pipeline of scientists that come from higher ed and upstream, even in primary and secondary school, if they're not prepared with these skills, it makes this a lot harder. So really, education is at the core to really creating change and creating a more sustainable planet. So at Beyond Benign, we work really across the continuum, across the education continuum, and really to foster transformative change in STEM education. We focus, from the very beginnings, and green chemistry has potential and can do different things at each of these levels. But at K through 12, it might be, to inspire students, to educate consumers and citizens, because not everyone who takes chemistry will become a chemist. We know that. There's also opportunities for demystifying and really sparking that interest that, plants that seed for future scientists to pursue studies in the field. And then when we get to undergrad and grad school, we're now building skills. We're now training the next generation innovators and practicing chemists and preparing those 21st century chemists for those jobs and careers in industry and also in academia as well. In our work, we really have three main strategies here on the bottom right. We invest in educators, so we work directly with educators. We develop tools and resources to really address the gap that is within chemistry education. And then we really want educators to be talking to other educators. So we foster peer support networks so that we can empower and create networks within the community. And we have like three main pillars for our programs. And I'll just pull this all up. So within our K through 12, it's centered around a lead teacher program where we have teachers here in North America, the US and Canada, and they work alongside us to develop curriculum to offer professional development to other teachers. And we build regional peer networks, and we have some geographic locations that we're focused on here in the US and Canada as well. Within our higher ed focus on this pillar, it's centered around institutional change and institutional leadership. So our Green Chemistry Commitment Program, which actually both Dr. Zhang and Dr. Abraham are a part of. Dr. Zhang was one of our first advisory board members that helped create the Green Chemistry Commitment Program. And Dr. Abraham is part of one of the signing schools that we're proud to have involved in Canada. And so this is centered around institutional leadership and really providing more support for those champions and for those faculty that are bringing green chemistry to their institutions and providing support and connections. We currently have 95 green chemistry commitment signers, and that's global. And we have a good number of open access resources across all levels. I'm just going to mention really briefly our K through 12 programs. Again, I mentioned it's centered around this lead teacher program and some of these regional networks. We do have open access resources that you can find and download for free on our website, beyondbenign.org, and I can drop some links into the chat once I'm off the screen here. And I'm happy to make connections if you're looking for anything, or if you want to reach out to any of the schools in your area and share resources. We'd be more than happy to have that. But you can see some of our goals and the objectives is to really equip, empower, and foster, the adoption of green chemistry for teachers within K through 12. And again, I mentioned us working side by side with educators. All of our programs are for teachers by teachers, which makes them more relevant for the classroom. I'm going to shift to the Green Chemistry Commitment Program. I mentioned this. This program is an open program, flexible program designed again for institutional change. And our goals are to really build awareness of green chemistry, provide support and tools. We'd like to measure implementation as a whole and share that out to the community, and ultimately prepare future chemists to implement sustainable practices through chemistry. Each of the green chemistry commitment signers sign on and commit to implementing 4 student learning objectives, which are implementing the theory of green chemistry, which are centered around the 12 principles of green chemistry, how these skills are applied in the laboratory, so which is ultimately where we want this, students to apply the green chemistry in their design and practice of chemistry. Toxicology, which interfaces really nicely with the Veritas Chem tool. So understanding more about how we can use toxicology and hazard information to better design chemicals, because that is tremendously empowering and tremendously powerful for chemistry to design in and out properties. And we do it all the time as molecular designers, so why not also include toxicology and toxicology endpoints as part of that design, so we can design out hazardous endpoints. And then ultimately how these things are implemented within student practice. So each institution does it very differently. These are some of our numbers that we've been measuring and noticing. Over 70%, closer to 3/4, 75% of the signing institutions have made significant changes in their teaching and practice. We have a good number using and sharing resources, attending and engaging, and our active leaders that we see in the field. And again, this is a small cohort of institutions that are practicing green chemistry. There's a lot more beyond just the green chemistry commitment signers. But this is the ones that we measure or track most closely as part of our program. So again, each institution does it differently, from, say, University of Toronto, who has really taken a department-wide approach and is looking at implementing green chemistry across all of their different subdisciplines, which is really exciting. To University of Minnesota, who's been a leader for a number of years and leading in the organic chemistry course in particular, with some really innovative things coming out of Dr. Wissinger's lab as well. The University of Michigan Flint, we're happy to share, created the first Bachelor of Science degree in green chemistry. And that was around 2018, I believe. And Washington College uses some really interesting approaches that go beyond chemistry, where they're including it in courses such as art and policy, which is also a wonderful thing to see. So one of the things we launched last year were opportunities for our green chemistry commitment signers to apply for some grant support and really to make some curriculum changes. So these are 3 of our first, from our first cohort of grant support. So as signers, they had an opportunity to apply. This was supported by Dow, so it was Dow Academic Pros, particular to Dow Academic Partners, although we're anticipating being able to offer this again and open it as well. So these are 3 that are doing some different approaches. UC Berkeley, another leader in green chemistry for a long time. They have begun to implement green chemistry in their sophomore level organic course. They've really fully integrated into their intro courses. And so this sort of gives them the seed to start that. Michigan State are piloting some project-based laboratory curriculum for the organic lab course, and Southern University has begun the design of a 3-year project to implement green chemistry across their whole department. They'll be talking on Thursday, so if anyone wants to come to our open online virtual Green Chemistry Commitment Summit, just a little plug on the right. I will send the direct link in the chat again when I'm off screen, but if you did want to, scan that and get straight to the registration, you can register for the green chemistry commitment, which is held on Thursday. And you can hear directly from the award winners. They'll be presenting as part of that agenda on Thursday. So again, we have 95 signers globally, 77 in North America, and then we have a number of additional countries, which we're super excited about in building some more global connections. We have a goal here in the United States. We graduate as a whole from about 1,300, maybe a little more than that, different institutions across all levels. We graduate 22,000 chemists here in the United States annually. And that's across all levels, from bachelor's, associates, master's, PhDs. Our signers represent about 10% of those at the moment, 10% of graduates. And we would like to get to 25%. We think that it's really important to get to grow to a critical mass of institutions that can better prepare students with these skills. So our goal is to grow that number to 25% by 2025. And so if you're interested in learning more or want to become involved with this program, please reach out. There's some connections that I can drop in the chat too, or some links that I can drop in the chat too, but feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to shift over finally to close this with our GCTLC, the Green Chemistry Teaching and Learning Community. So we've been doing a good number of work throughout the years, understanding and listening to the community to understand what does it take to create change? Because we know change in education is hard, right? There's resource constraints, there's time, resource, administrative support, knowledge and understanding of how to implement these things. There's a number of things that need to happen in order to implement green chemistry in your teaching and practice. So we have teamed up with the American Chemical Society Green Chemistry Institute to create the GCTLC, which will be one of the key mechanisms to support this change in chemistry education. And we've been doing a lot of studying around other communities of transformation that have really created or realized STEM reform. And this is one of the key mechanisms, an online support mechanisms. It's not just a resource hub, but it also involves some interactive tools for supporting mentoring, forums, discussion, and supporting that collaborative spirit and growth. So this is coming next year. We're actively in the process of designing this tool. It's being built by a number of wonderful education and industry professionals and leaders across the spectrum. And we're really looking forward to sharing this with the community. If you want more information or want to somehow be involved, we're more than happy. There'll be plenty of opportunities for this. It's coming. So we're super excited, and we're really hoping it can create and support that change. And again, very much from the way that we work as a nonprofit organization. This is by the community, for the community. And you can see this is our vision and our mission. But basically, I mentioned a community of practice, but we'd like to foster a diverse, inclusive, and accessible community of practice to advance the integration and adoption of green chemistry and sustainable chemistry in education. So these are the kind of numbers that we anticipate seeing with a tool like this, and also all of the mechanisms that go around. It's not just a platform, but all the mechanisms that go around this. And so again, we're looking very, very much forward to sharing more as this rolls out. And it's grounded in these core values. So all of the design and the implementation of the green chemistry teaching and learning community is centered around equitable access to resources, creating a respectful community that really fosters that sense of belonging and inclusivity for the whole community. So we're doing a lot of work around that, particularly with our DEBR, Diversity, Equity, Belonging, and Respect subcommittee that's been doing a lot of work in that space for the GCTLC. We also want to foster innovation and creativity in chemistry education and give that support for educators to make those changes in the way that they see fit. We also have these core values of maintaining high standards of excellence and quality and transparency and integrity across the operation and development of this platform as well. So that was my super brief overview of a snapshot of, we have a lot of different things that are in there, including some open access resources that are coming out this summer. If you want to come on Thursday to our summit, please sign up. We'll be sharing more about that. We have some more tools that are coming out this summer, include a toxicology for chemists, open access curriculum that'll be coming out around the biennial conference of chemical education in August. We also have resource guides for the organic lab course, and we have an inorganic and general chemistry resource guide coming out this summer as well. So please stay in touch with us to receive those notifications, and a huge thank you to our partners who make, provide support and make all of this possible. But feel free to also reach out to me directly too. So with that, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dr.